Tonight, calling out anti-vaxxers.
At the very least, think of children, right?
She was immunized, but cancer made her vulnerable. An Ottawa woman's message as the measles outbreak grows.
It was my decision to make.
A decision Jane Philpott now says violated her rights. She's out of caucus, but not going quietly.
Thousands in Quebec without power for another night thanks to the ice storm. And yes, it's April. This is The National. It is dangerous, extremely contagious, and in most cases completely preventable, but still, the number of measles cases is climbing. In Canada, more than 30 people across 4 provinces have become sick this year, and in the U.S., it's even worse. The numbers in New York City so alarming, today the city ordered mandatory vaccinations in some neighborhoods, mainly clustered in an ultra-Orthodox Jewish community targeted by misinformation. We'll go there in a moment. But let's begin closer to home with an Ottawa woman's powerful plea for people to just get vaccinated. She's one of 2 people in the city to contract the disease, even though, as Evan Dyer explains, she did everything she could, everything you are supposed to do to avoid it.
And when that test came back positive, it was like, no, it's measles, and we have to really think about this.
It was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime, a gift from a cancer charity. Jada Kelsall is a huge Harry Potter fan, and she chose the UK.
About a week after we got back, I started to feel quite tired on the Friday night.
That was followed by a high fever and a rash that landed her in hospital. But the measles diagnosis was a shock because she's been vaccinated.
I tested positive for the vaccine antibodies, which means that I should have been immune.
But Kelsall's immune system was weakened by chemotherapy. She spent 8 days in hospital, 5 in an isolation ward, while public health officials warned the city.
I was reading people's comments, assuming that I was an anti-vaxxer or all these things, and calling me names, and like the Reddit feeds were awful. People saying that my parents should be put in jail and stuff for not vaccinating me, and that's ridiculous. Like, they just didn't understand that it's not just the anti-vaxxers that are going to get sick.
Kelsall knows her immune system is weak and even got an extra booster shot, but that wasn't enough to protect her because of her cancer treatment. What protects vulnerable people like Kelsall is everyone else getting vaccinated.
We call it the elimination threshold, which means that there's enough people who are vaccinated to prevent the virus from circulating in the environment. And that's really where we are in Canada, but that's at risk. So when we have a collection of people who are not getting vaccinated, you're creating a pocket where the virus can circulate.
Right now, the pockets of low vaccination are in Quebec and BC. Even though she initially feared backlash, Kelsall is now sharing her story and her message for anti-vaxxers.
Why? Why would you want to risk exposing yourself to something that not only could affect you so badly, but anybody around you who's not vaccinated or who's vulnerable? Just do it. Do it for the people around you who can't.
Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
New York City is taking a different approach to convince people to get their shots. Faced with 285 cases, it declared a public health emergency today and is now threatening some people with a $1,000 fine if they don't get vaccinated. Stephen D'Souza visited one of the communities being targeted.
Since October, health officials have been fighting a losing battle against the measles in this small, tight-knit section of Brooklyn. It's home to a large, ultra-Orthodox Jewish community and almost half of all the measles cases nationwide.
The rabbis all say they recommend the vaccination.
Well, my rabbi said otherwise, and I will not name him. Preventative measures are not a reason to inject toxins into my child's body.
Doctor? This rabbi says his community faces the same challenges as everyone else. The majority support vaccines, but a small few question established science.
Very small, minute percentage of the community get fooled because they love their children so much.
He says there's nothing in the Jewish faith that counsels against vaccinations. But many here have been targeted by aggressive, sometimes anonymous anti-vaccine campaigns. There have been hotlines and conference calls set up to spread misinformation. And this magazine, published by a group called Parents Educating and Advocating for Children's Health. It deceptively weaves fact with fiction, using cartoons like this to heighten fear.
If somebody presents himself as a doctor, as a lawyer, selling them garbage, some of them will basically fall for that, and it's very difficult.
New York officials say they're also troubled by reports of measles parties, parents purposely exposing their children to the disease in an apparent attempt to boost immunity.
We don't want children or adults to be unnecessarily exposed to measles because there are serious consequences to that.
The city will scan records of anyone who's come in contact with an infected patient and will fine those who are found to be unvaccinated. New York's mayor says he's certain they have the legal power to do this.
We cannot allow this dangerous disease to make a comeback.
With Passover coming up and families gathering, Rabbi Niederman says the time to act is now.
The religion tells us you have to do everything what you can to safeguard your health.
A message he hopes will spread quickly through the community. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
New York's health department has traced the measles outbreak there to unvaccinated people who visited Israel, which has been struggling with its own outbreak for about a year. They brought it home and set off a wave of infections, and not just in New York City. Measles has also hit ultra-Orthodox Jewish families in Rockland County, just to the north. So to contain the outbreak there, local officials tried to ban unvaccinated children from public places. Last week, a judge blocked that move, and now the county is appealing. So, all right, Ian, let's turn now to something different, a powerful spring storm in Quebec.
And Adrian, it brought high winds and ice, and now large areas have no electricity, no heat for the second night in a row. At the height of the outage, 313,000 hydro customers lost power. As of this evening, more than 200,000 were still in the dark. Hydro-Quebec says 385 crews are out in the field. They're trying to restore service. And in Laval alone, near Montreal, 16 people have been poisoned by carbon monoxide. They are all expected to recover. Officials are warning this won't be a quick fix. The CBC's Alison Northcott went to Laval to find out how people are coping.
Freezing rain and fierce winds left tree branches coated with heavy ice, some cracked from the weight, littering streets like this one.
So we have this tree here, and the branch there was thrown on the hydro line. Also, we are afraid for the other branches because now we have the snow. The snow is heavy.
Marius Teulia lost power, and by this afternoon, he'd been waiting more than a day to get it back. Crews are working to restore service, but it's a big job, and Quebec's premier said many people would have to spend a second night in the dark.
Unfortunately, Hydro-Quebec is saying that they expect that it won't be solved before tomorrow. So I'm requesting all people having young children and elders to call their municipality to find a place to stay in the meantime.
Several cities and towns have opened centers where people can warm up, take a hot shower, and charge their phones.
So far we've been without electricity since yesterday. It's kind of cold in the house, so that's why we're here.
It was too cold since yesterday. The temperature shut down to like 10 degrees in the house, so it's cold.
Laval firefighters and police have been going door to door checking in on people. They're warning people to be careful and to keep generators a safe distance from their homes. There have been several cases of carbon monoxide poisonings, including one family that had to be treated in hospital after they used their barbecue inside the house.
The police officers are assigned with every other employee of the city to patrol the streets and to be on the lookout for people using generators, for different people asking for help.
Hydro-Quebec says its crews are working as quickly as possible, but there has been snow and strong winds today, making their work even harder. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Laval, Quebec.
Snow fell in Ottawa today as well, with freezing rain, though it wasn't as treacherous. It was record-breaking, though. The nation's capital already broke a record yesterday and the day before that for the most consecutive days with at least 1 centimeter of snow on the ground. The last record was set in 1978, 144 days. Today marks 148. Not sure if that's a record they want in Ottawa, but that is what they're living through. Let's turn now to the political storm the Prime Minister can't seem to find any cover from, the SNC-Lavalin affair, and the blowback from the expulsion of 2 top Liberal caucus members. One of those former members, Jane Philpott, is keeping the story front and center. She took direct aim at Justin Trudeau in the House of Commons today. Our Katie Simpson examines the latest chapter of this saga.
I rise on a question of privilege concerning my recent expulsion. And
that expulsion, Jane Philpott claims, broke the rules of Parliament. The newly independent MP says she and Jody Wilson-Raybould had their rights violated by the Prime Minister when he kicked them out of caucus.
Expulsion should not be his decision to take unilaterally. However, the decision had been already made.
Philpott is now demanding a ruling from the Speaker. At issue is the previous Conservative government's private members' bill, which in part requires holding a caucus-wide vote before expulsion. The author of that bill says the problem is the Liberals didn't clearly opt out of these guidelines.
I raised this in the House and publicly in December 2015, and now the chickens have come home to roost.
Justin Trudeau denies this, saying it was made clear back in 2015 the Liberals would not abide by these rules.
It was my decision to make, but the fact that the caucus was clear and united on that made my decision easier.
This former House of Commons law clerk says the Speaker is likely to rule in Trudeau's favor.
I would expect his answer is going to be that he has no jurisdiction to interfere in how a caucus conducts its internal affairs, and that's the end of it.
Trudeau's decision is not sitting well with some Liberals in Philpott's Ontario riding.
I've just lost the will to campaign anymore and to serve.
Leah Knutson was a leader on the team that organized Philpott's 2015 campaign. Of the 16 members, 10 quit last night, with another 2 expected to resign soon. Knutson says she will still vote Liberal, but is deeply disappointed.
If a party is like a family, okay, and there's disagreements in the family, do you kick your kids out? If I kicked my children out every time I had a disagreement with them, I'd have no children left.
And Katie joins us from West Block. Katie, some Liberal members questioning Jane Philpott's motives tonight.
Quietly, yes, they are. The Speaker is unlikely to rule in Jane Philpott's favor, but what happened today does keep this story alive. For her part, Philpott says this is about clarity and knowing which rules apply moving forward. And she has publicly said she's aware her former Liberal colleagues don't want her or Jody Wilson-Raybould back in caucus. And that should come as no surprise. While she did not fully address all Liberal MPs, she had a very rough go defending her public criticism of the Prime Minister when she met privately with Ontario MPs. Ian.
All right, Katie, thank you. And the Prime Minister stood his ground on another front today as well, defending a threat to sue the Conservative leader, Andrew Scheer, over his comments about the government's handling of the SNC-Lavalin affair.
You can't be inventing things. You can't be lying to Canadians. And I think highlighting that there are consequences in short term and long term when politicians choose to twist the truth and distort reality for Canadians, it's not something we're going to put up with.
The Prime Minister's lawyer sent Scheer a letter last week warning about what he called highly defamatory comments. Scheer then held a news conference this past Sunday revealing the threatened lawsuit and basically daring Trudeau to go through with it.
Israel is a country with deep divisions, and right now, not just between Jews and Arabs, but also between political factions and political visions for the country's future. A future that a bitterly fought election promised to decide tonight. Whether Benjamin Netanyahu, who has run Israel for a decade, would serve a historic 5th term in office, or whether a fresh party led by political newcomer Benny Gantz would take the reins. Initial results put them very close. Both sides then claimed victory. As Susan Ormiston explains from Tel Aviv, for Israelis just hoping for a clear winner, this is a night of whiplash.
Benny Gantz, a political newcomer, has proven that at least he will have to be reckoned with. If this election was a referendum on Benjamin Netanyahu, this crowd mounted a robust test. No matter what the final result will be, this newly minted party, blue and white, has made extraordinary gains in this election. But late tonight, Benjamin Netanyahu rejected that possibility. As more votes were counted, but without official results, he emerged to claim victory.
של ניצחון אדיר, אדיר.
In West Jerusalem, they voted early, a holiday for Israelis, but important work to mark a ballot to make a future.
He is the best for this country. There is no one better than him.
The Prime Minister still clearly captivating voters.
Bibi, Bibi, Bibi. Don't God, don't only Bibi.
Netanyahu, looking for a fifth term as Prime Minister, knew he was in a close fight, dogged by allegations of corruption. Campaigning still today, urging sun worshippers to trade the beach for a ballot or risk ending up with a weak leftist government. Many voters were attracted to Benny Gantz, the former military chief of staff, promising less division and clean government. Many Israelis voting for change, like Clinton Bailey.
I'm afraid that the country and the government of Netanyahu is taking the country in the wrong direction, to much more conservative.
In Tel Aviv, more liberal, more secular, there was a sense that this time a coalition opposed could win. So tonight at the street-side bars of Tel Aviv, when the first exit polls were announced, enthusiasm, showing an early but inconclusive trend away from Likud that did not hold. Netanyahu's party may have won the most seats. He appears to have survived. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Tel Aviv.
Here's some of the other stories we're following tonight. U.S. Attorney General William Barr says he is set to release the long-awaited Robert Mueller report.
From my standpoint, within a week, I will be in a position to release the report to the public.
But it will be redacted in places. Barr is saying that was necessary to protect intelligence sources and methods. Democrats are still demanding to see it in full. Last month, Barr released a 4-page summary of that report stating that Mueller didn't find a criminal conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia during the 2016 election. Full House star Lori Loughlin and her fashion designer husband are among 16 parents facing new charges in the sweeping college admissions bribery scandal. Federal prosecutors have handed down money laundering charges. Yesterday, fellow actor Felicity Huffman pleaded guilty to related charges in the alleged rigging of college entrance exams and bribing coaches at elite American universities. The Dalai Lama was admitted to a New Delhi hospital today with a chest infection. The 83-year-old Tibetan spiritual leader was at his home in northern India when he felt discomfort and had to be flown to the Indian capital. He is now in stable condition, but is expected to remain in hospital for 2 to 3 days.
Ahead tonight, Theresa May flies to Europe to push for a Brexit delay, but no one was there to greet her.
And we'll look at how businesses are cashing in on a good night's sleep.
And you have to stick around for our moment of the day. It is about a fed-up farmer and her cantankerous ram.
He's decided to take a bit of a liking to my butt, and every time I turn my back on him, he's kind of coming at me pretty hard.
It is possible that in just 3 days, the UK could crash out of the European Union. The British Prime Minister Theresa May is pretty keen to change that deadline. So she was in Berlin and Paris today on what some called a begging tour. Tomorrow, she'll face all 27 EU members at an emergency meeting. Now, they want proof of a credible plan before they'll give May yet another extension. But back in Britain, cross-party talks on her exit strategy are not going well. As Margaret Evans tells us, May needs a persuasive performance.
We demand a people's vote.
Standing room only and an atmosphere akin to an old-fashioned revival meeting. This is the domain of the fervent, those who believe they can not only delay Brexit, but reverse it.
What do we want? What do we wanted?
On stage, a cross-party array of politicians acknowledging that inside this hall, they are mostly preaching to the converted, but insisting that the tide is turning.
They have absolutely insisted that this debate is not shut down.
Whatever we do from where we are now has to have as much public support as we possibly can, and I think the best way of assessing that is exactly to go back to the people.
And the British Prime Minister has gone back to Europe. First stop, Berlin, and some unfortunate symbolism. Theresa May left waiting for Angela Merkel to arrive. The two leaders backtracking for a photo op. May is asking her European Union partners for more time again to avoid crashing out of the bloc without a blueprint on Friday. Then on to Paris and Emmanuel Macron. Lots of mileage, but little progress on display if body language is anything to go by. EU leaders want assurances they're not going to keep being asked for extensions every few weeks.
We want to understand what the UK need this extension for.
Clarity from May is something hardline Brexiteers in her own party are demanding too.
Ready to vote again.
They fear the longer the delay in leaving, the more likely those calling for another ballot will get one. Even some of their own are now backing a referendum, given May's failure to get her plan through Parliament.
If you want this thing through, you've got to find the best apparatus for it, and that's going to be the people, it's not Parliament.
EU leaders will decide on the extension request at a special summit in Brussels tomorrow, and if so, for how long. Either way, the anguish in this country over Brexit is far from over. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
Ahead tonight, Ontario's new license plates take a page from the past.
First, though, a wrenching dilemma for a Nova Scotia family. What will happen to their intellectually challenged son when they're no longer around?
Kathleen, how much, as Brendan's mother, how much does his future after you're gone weigh in your mind?
A lot. I mean, that's the main thing. If I could live forever, that would be great.
We are live on The National following protests in Calgary surrounding the controversial Bill C-69. Angry Albertans descending on Calgary's downtown core this afternoon, protesting a Senate committee that was gathering input on the bill that would overhaul the review process for major energy projects. Police say more than 1,000 people showed up, including candidate for Premier Jason Kenney. After nearly 7 years, an inquest into a deadly stage collapse at a Radiohead concert in Toronto has wrapped. The collapse killing drum technician Scott Johnson. His father says he hopes his son's death was not in vain.
So I think the outcome here will make changes, and improvements.
The last 2 weeks of testimony revealed poor safety standards, and the stage was missing a brace that could have prevented its collapse. The NHL has announced that defenseman Slava Voinov's suspension will be extended for all of next season. Voinov recently applied to be reinstated into the league after being suspended in 2014 following his arrest in connection to a domestic violence case. The league says it's extending the 29-year-old's suspension for what it calls unacceptable off-ice conduct.
We're going now to Nova Scotia, where many people with disabilities are faced with a choice to move into a large facility or join a wait list 1,000 people long for a space in a smaller home. Now, Brendan Purdy-Smith is on that list, a young man who right now is thriving without an institution thanks to his community and, above all, his parents' love. But as Tom Murphy shows us, the fear now is how fleeting this all is.
Push. Okay, let's start again.
This is Brendan Purdy-Smith at age 11. A piano lesson with a favorite teacher, but this is as far as he will ever develop.
Short, long. Very nice job, bud.
He's an adult now, but the notes he plays are still the same. This is Brendan's morning routine that would be anything but for most. For all of Brendan's 29 years, his parents have been his caregivers, his lifeline, 24/7.
Good morning.
You see, although he's bigger than his father, Brendan's essentially a 3-year-old toddler inside an adult's body. But like us all, he has a personality, a life, even a job, because his parents Kim and Kathleen have been determined to make it so.
So Brendan did a lot of things himself this morning.
But it's his next phase in life that consumes Kim and Kathleen now.
Kathleen, how much, as Brendan's mother, how much does his future after you're gone weigh in your mind?
A lot. I mean, that's the main thing. If I could live forever, that would be great. But I can't. And I know in the past, when we have conversations with parents, they say, well, I will always be here for my child. I think, wait a minute, no, you won't. And just coming to that realization, it's pretty important.
Kathleen is in her 70s. Her constant fear is who will be left to care for Brendan when she's gone, a question that gnaws at her after 9 years on a wait list for permanent care for her son, to no avail. This is how Brendan's story began. Kathleen and Kim made a film about their only son from his earliest days, and like new parents do, they looked into their infant's eyes with wonder and dreams for Brendan's future. And then, just before Brendan turned 2, they got the diagnosis: severe global developmental delay.
And I went, delayed? So what does that mean? Like, how far can he develop?
My mind, I think, went to, okay, what are we going to do? You know, how can we work with this? What are we going to do? Because we didn't know where it was going to go.
He said, we know less about the brain than we know about the stars. I can't tell you how far he can develop. I don't know. All I can tell you is stimulate him as much as you can and trust your instincts.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brendan. Happy birthday to you.
For the next 2 decades, Kim and Kathleen focused on their son. They included him in everything they did.
Would you say it was a good day? Was it a good day? You say yeah, yeah. Was it a good day? Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Give me one of those big sloppy ones. Thanks, buddy.
Despite all the love and attention they could muster, Brendan did not advance intellectually. And yet his parents sense he's where he belongs now. Part of community, stimulated socially, contributing in his own way to society.
Young children, people with disabilities, the biggest thing is transitioning. So if you're happy here, why change? So getting him to buy into the next thing that's going to happen can sometimes take a lot of coercion and bribery.
For the last 2 years, Kim and Kathleen have had some respite thanks to a support worker paid for by the province. His name is Barry Bennett. He and Brendan have become friends. But when Brendan doesn't get what he wants, he can be trying. He wants to visit his favorite music store, and the 3-year-old in him won't take no for an answer.
You want to, but it's closed. Almost every occurrence of acting out is over and can be completely behind Brendan within a minute, if the support person and the people around him act accordingly. But that's really hard to do when they don't understand Brendan's language. London Bridge, you want to go under the bridge? Most of them are in the vein of the reverse dye.
This is Brendan's job. He and Barry create and then sell tie-dye t-shirts inspired by Brendan's love for mixing colors. On this day, they're dropping them off at local shops.
There's your money, Brendan. Thank you.
And we're lucky in that this business model with this entrepreneur, he's able to participate in these things and make them happen.
The money Brendan makes goes to buy supplies and gumballs. Brendan spends a lot of his day at a place called Capri, a sheltered workshop where adults with disabilities are encouraged to become entrepreneurs.
One light switch.
And where Barry, Brendan's 6th support worker in 9 years, has come to truly understand Brendan.
Yeah, do we need these? He's way smarter than anybody would give him credit for. He knows how to communicate way more effectively than we know how to interpret what he's saying. I'm gonna come sit here and Tom's gonna sit over there.
Brendan has more than 100 signs that are unique to him. It took Barry a year to learn them all and catalog them on a YouTube channel for future support workers.
All right, now we reverse the camera. Can you see your face? All right, can you see your face? Hey guys, it's Brendan and Bear. We're just doing an update for our blog, and today's pretty exciting because we have friends visiting us at the Makery. Brendan, who's here today? That's Steve on the camera, and Tom, Diane way back there. And they're here making a day in the life of Mr. B. Show me Dad. Dad. Show me Mom. Mom. Oh, hey, thanks, man, for the love. Can you show me the sign for piano, please? Piano! And we get the pianos, right?
The music store, when it's open, has an open door policy for Brendan. He's welcome anytime. And that's where we get a glimpse of something that gives him pure joy.
Is that a dog? Awesome.
Do we need to get this man to learn how to talk? Why would we ask him to do that? I don't ask him to learn how to talk. His needs are being met by using his own communication. He doesn't have to meet my standards or everybody else's standards. They need to learn his language, his communication style. That I believe.
Like that?
As long as an individual is willing to give him undivided attention, one-to-one, the outcome is almost 99% positive every time. The worst thing for this to happen would be to Brendan to go somewhere and sit in a room all day and not be engaged.
Tweety bird. That's a little bird.
So this is Brendan's plan. This picture here is an image that Brendan desires. This is Brendan's dream.
The dream, conceived 5 years ago, was to have Brendan fully settled in a home in the community by his 30th birthday. One of their artist friends illustrated this scroll.
What is your greatest fear for Brendan?
The greatest fear would be that he has to go into a place like a large institution and that we don't have any say about it.
It's December now, another Christmas. And with the changing seasons, there's always hope that things will somehow get better.
So wide.
But they don't. The family still clings to that provincial waitlist for permanent care. And now Barry, Brendan's support worker, has had to go on a leave of absence. So the family is back to square one, with Kim and Kathleen left to care for Brendan on their own once again.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, we go through these different times when it's oh yeah, everything is fine, you know, and then it's like something comes at you, which is like, wake up, you know. So that's don't know.
The reality of the situation.
Yeah.
How are you managing? How are you doing personally?
Mostly, I mean, okay, right? I think it's,
It's hard. It is hard.
It's at times like this when their fears of Brendan ending up in a large institution take hold.
I can't imagine what it would be like for him. I mean, I can see him, you know, acting out, having bad behaviors, not wanting to do anything. I don't know what
he could just end up depressed and overweight, watching TV and nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm afraid of, that that he would really be in a downward spiral and maybe be given medication. Like, he doesn't take any medication, but I know that this is what the system, you know, one of their main techniques is to use medication.
He'll just be managed.
So that's the biggest fear, is that will happen, but so that's what we're struggling against right now.
Tom Murphy, CBC News, Canning, Nova Scotia.
What a family. Unfortunately, there's pretty good reason to fear that Brendan will end up lost in the system. Nova Scotia has come under fire for relying too much on big institutions to deliver care. Disability advocates call it warehousing. Last week, they gathered to demand the government live up to its commitment to clear those wait lists and expand spaces for care options like community living. The government is building 8 new homes. Advocates say the province needs at least 25 to meet all those needs.
Up next on The National, from heavy blankets to smart beds, we'll look at the big business of getting a good night's sleep.
First, though, a look at a story you'll see here tomorrow when space history is made. At 7 simultaneous events around the world, a group of scientists will unveil the very first picture ever taken of a black hole.
We have all of these great science fiction images. We have all of these speculations done by scientists. We have all of these images that have happened to date. But this image that we have now is our first picture of a black hole.
So black holes are made when stars collapse. They are so powerful they can devour other stars, planets, even light itself. So to get a picture, telescopes from around the world had to be linked together.
You needed a lens the size of the planet in order to capture this image. And so you take a telescope on one side of the world, a telescope on the other, and across that distance now you have this resolution that you can calculate. So you get this better detail.
We'll see tomorrow how that compares to decades of imagination and what it tells us about where we need to go next.
Whether it's too much caffeine, too much screen time, or just too much to do, Canadians are not getting enough sleep, about an hour less per night than they did in 2005. And even those who do get that full 8 hours don't always feel rested in the morning. It is a growing health concern, but also, as Diane Buckner explains, a booming business opportunity.
You actually open up one more of these?
Omar Shaban and his cousin, Fahad Javed, just received a new shipment of their product, the Gravid weighted blanket.
This is all inventory that's going to be processed and shipped all out the door by tomorrow.
Consumers buy the $160 blanket with the hope it will ease their anxiety for a better sleep.
So it's definitely a polarizing effect when you use this blanket. It's either going to work for you instantly or it's not going to work at all.
The same can be said about sort of any medication as well, right? Like, not every medication works for every single person.
Poor sleepers are trying more than weighted blankets.
Introducing Luna, the first mattress cover that makes any bed smart.
There are devices to manage the temperature of your bed.
Just like a metronome, Dodo helps slow down your breathing.
The way you breathe. Even bedtime stories.
Well, hello there.
Read by celebrities such as Matthew McConaughey.
She climbed into bed and allowed her head to fall into the pillow.
Alternative sleep aids are a growing category, estimated to be worth $30 billion worldwide. Research shows the number of Canadian adults with insomnia increased 42% over an 8-year period. A third of Canadians don't get the recommended amount of sleep.
So we've got a number of different products that help really create a comfortable environment for sleep.
At Shoppers Drug Mart, Chris Potter oversees the company's WellWise division.
So we've got a white noise machine that really helps deaden out all the background noise.
The chain sells merchandise aimed at a wide range of health issues.
We've seen a lot of innovation in the sleep category in the last few years, particularly in the technology space.
With products to control humidity, noise, and comfort, the stores also have sleep specialists on staff.
The medical community has been clear that a good night's sleep is really an important part of overall health and wellness, and companies are responding to that.
And we could do a white one here.
As for the Canadians behind the Gravid blanket, they have international expansion plans, encouraged by big sales.
Every month it surpasses our expectations.
There's not enough research at this point to prove how well any of these gadgets and gizmos work, but as long as Canadians remain desperate for a good night's sleep, business will be dreamy. Diane Buckner, CBC News, Toronto.
Up next on The National, one Nova Scotia farmer's online ad to get rid of a jerk named Carl from her life.
I was pretty honest about the fact that Carl's got a bit of an attitude, it's for sure. Rambunctious is the word that has been floating around.
We're talking about a ram. We'll explain in our moment. But first, in case you missed it, the debate over the words that will grace Ontario license plates seems to have been settled. For 37 years, the plates have proudly proclaimed Ontario yours to discover. But recently, reports surfaced that Premier Doug Ford planned to change that popular slogan to Ontario open for business, which opposition members thought was too close to a progressive Conservative Party slogan and not reflective of the province as a whole. So the Premier backed away from that one in favor of something else. And government sources now tell CBC News the new license plate slogan will be Ontario, a place to grow, which comes from the song A Place to Stand.
Give us a place to stand and a place to grow, and call this land Ontario.
The unofficial anthem for the Ontario Pavilion at Expo 67. And Premier Ford doesn't seem content with license plates. He has other proposed changes to Ontario's branding, like the official Trillium logo introduced back in 2006. While popular with some, others have complained it looks like 3 men in a hot tub. So, yeah, I guess it does.
There he is. Cast your eyes on Carl. Now, the good news is he's an energetic ram living on a farm in Nova Scotia, but he's also a bit of a jerk, especially when he's around his owner, Sue Earle. So she decided, Carl, you've got to go. She placed an ad on Kijiji where she didn't shy away from the truth. Carl has some attitude, but he could be yours for $250. Her unusual sales pitch caught our attention, so we asked Sue to explain what's going on with Carl in tonight's moment.
He's decided to take a bit of a liking to my butt, and every time I turn my back on him, he's kind of coming at me pretty hard. He was a bottle lamb, so I was the one who primarily took care of him. I fed him and I coddled him probably a little more than I should have, and now he's probably growing up thinking that I'm another one of his type. He's got some energy, he's a little bit flighty. Rambunctious is the word that has been floating around, and I think that's pretty accurate. I think he's just kind of trying to see what he can get away with more than anything. I don't like to see animals go to places where people think they're getting something they're not. I was pretty honest about the fact that Carl's got a bit of an attitude, it's for sure. He needs some space to roam. He really needs some more female sheep to focus his attention on.
Okay, so Sue told our colleagues in radio today, and these are her words, not mine, that she would turn Carl into a burger, but it is Carl, and she feels like even jerks need a second chance. And it's clear this is possibly personal. I want to show you a picture here. This is actually Carl and Sue's husband, Troy. It's a nice portrait there. They don't seem to have a problem with each other. This is strictly about Carl and Sue, so he's out.
You know, I think a lot of farmers across the country can relate to some version of the story. At my sister-in-law's ranch, we have family lore of one of my sons and a steer named Robbie who took a liking to him. The difference is the Kijiji ad, but still no takers as of tonight. But a great story. That is The National for April the 9th. Good night.
Good night.